St. Clair County RISA presents Dateline Schools, hosted by Terry Harrington.
This week on Dateline Schools, we're talking transportation and what it takes to get our kids to and from school each and every day. To tell us all about it, my guest is the coordinator of transportation here at RISA, Lisa Merideth. And Lisa, Monday you said 3 million miles our buses roll every year here in St. Clair County. What's the process you guys use to determine the routes and how you get buses from here to here and where the stops are and all of that kind of good stuff?
Well, they'll come in from the local school districts, and they'll tell us which school that this child's assigned to. Dean uses a Versatrans system, which is a routing system. You'll put the children in, and with routing, I know all the districts would go this way. You'll usually go from the farthest student out, and you work your way back to the school, would be the most efficient. But when you're transporting special needs students, we have a lot of other factors that we look into, such as length of time on the bus. We have children that are very medically fragile, where an hour bus ride just is not going to work for them. So we may have to really work things out that aren't always the most efficient routing-wise, but maybe in the best interest of the children, which is what we're all about here, is being in the best interest of the children's needs for transportation.
Now, for your students, too, typically we see a group of kids out at a corner or someplace for a bus stop. That isn't what happens with your students, is it?
No, RISA, we used to call it door-to-door, but actually we call it the safest closest because we can't always get right to the door on every stop. And so it's the safest closest, so there's not a bus stop because our children, again, are a special needs population. So we are going right to the address. Most of the time we're pulling up right into the driveways, going right to the house if it's possible, if not to the curb of that location. But we have no bus stops at RISA. We're not picking up mass amount of children at one area. So there's a lot more miles that we're traveling. Instead of picking up 50, 60 children at one stop, we're going to 50, 60 houses to get there.
And one thing, too, that I know, you not only have a bus driver on the bus, you also have an aide with them, too, right?
Every single RISA bus out there has an attendant, a highly trained bus driver and attendant riding with those children that are all trained in first aid, CPR, crisis prevention, intervention training. Most of them know how to do suctioning. They know how to do defibrillators. I mean, just very high-trained personnel that are on our RISA buses.
We'll be back with more tomorrow. For Dateline Schools, I'm Terry Harrington.